Hi everyone, in our previous class I was completed the module of training and recruitment. There are different recruitment policy that may take a company to hire efficient people and then train them for their job, and lastly after some duration by observing their competency evaluate them for further action. This is called performance appraisal. Today I will discuss about industrial relation. In the following slides, I will discuss about the meaning of industrial relation, definition, scope, objective of industrial relation, importance, factor which affect on industrial relations, parties involved in industrial relations and their functions. Now, so what should be the meaning of industrial relation? As the name implies, industrial relation comprises of two words, industry and relation, where industry covers the production activity in which the group of workmen is engaged in, while the relation shows the relationship between the management and the workers within the industry. Industrial relation plays a significant role in today's working scenario, where the humorous relationship between the employers and employees is needed to have an uninterrupted production. The industrial relations mainly cover the following topics: regulatory body to resolve industrial dispute, collective bargaining, the role of management, union and government, labor legislation, workers' grievance redressal system, disciplinary policy and practice, industrial relations training. Some of these factors will be discussed in the following slides. So before start on the detail on discussion, first you should know the definition, how we can define the industrial relation. Industrial relation may be defined as the relation and interaction in the industry, particularly between the labor and management, as a result of their composite attitudes and approaches in regard to the management of the affairs of the industry, for the betterment of not only the management and the workers but also of the industry and the economy as a whole. It is made up of the following terms. One is industry, can be viewed as an economic activity, that is manufacturing or producing or processing of goods or services, which is performed by a group of individuals. Second one is relations. Relation here refers to the connection and communication which partens between the employer and the employees within a workplace. Now, industrial relations are relations between employees and employer in their day-to-day work. Hence, it is a continuous relationship. The scope of industrial relationship or industrial relation includes relationship among employees, between employees and their superior or managers, collective relations between trade unions and management. It is called union management relation. Collective relation among trade unions, employers associations and government. When we talk about industrial relation, it covers a vast area, including all kind of formal relationship existing in an organization. The scope of industrial relation can be briefly classified into the following four dimensions. The first one will be the employer-employees relations. The relationship that pertains between the business owner and the employees of a particular company is known as the employer-employee relationship. To maintain sound relation, the employer must treat the employees fairly and should value their effort. Also, adopting the various human resource strategies like employee relation program, performance based promotions, and even making the productive employees the stakeholders of the company. Next is group relation. The interaction and communication between the workers belonging to different work group are studied under group relations. Then, labor relation. In an organization, the relationship shared by the managers and the workers is termed as labor relations. It includes their behavior, thoughts, actions, and perception against each other. And lastly, public relation. It is also termed as community relation, the interaction and relationship of the organization, that is, its owner, management, and employees, with the society or external bodies is termed as public relation. For long-term existence in the business, every organization needs to maintain cordial public ties. Industrial relations hold a high significance in the context of human resource management about addressing the industrial dispute in an organization. The various goals of carrying such practices are handling grievance, mental revolution, employees' right protection, contract interpretation, boosting morale, collective bargaining, increasing productivity. Each of them will be discussed here one by one. The first one will be the handling grievance. Industrial relation aims to maintain cordial relationship between the management and the employees by resolving the dispute and setting up a mechanism to address the grievance for both the parties. Mental revolution. It emphasizes on transforming the way of thinking of both the management and the workers. The employer must value the workers' contribution towards the organization, and at the same time the employees must respect the authority of the management. Employees' right protection. Under industrial relation, various acts like in India National Labour Relation Act and association were formed to safeguard the rights and interests of the employees, irrespective of their membership of the labor union. Contract interpretation. Industrial relation emphasizes on providing proper training to the supervisor and the manager on the labor law contract to clarify any misunderstanding. Boosting morale. The motivated workforce is the most efficient resource of the organization. Therefore, industrial relation emphasizes on building employees' confidence and boosting their morale to perform better than before. Collective bargaining. The workers' representative and the management put up their proposal in front of each other and negotiate over the same. This is to reach a mutual decision which is written down in collective bargaining agreement. Lastly, increasing productivity. Industrial relation aims at improving the efficiency and productivity of the organization by ensuring employees' long-term retention and minimizing the rate of their absenteeism. So, these are the objectives or goals of an industrial relation between employers and employees of an organization. Now we move to the next topic, that is importance of industrial relation. The first one will be the increased productivity. With the umbilical industrial relation, both the worker and manager continue to work on their respective position and contribute towards the overall productivity of the firm. Thus, IR ensure the continuity of production. The second important factor is reduce industrial dispute. An effective industrial relation help in the reduction of industrial dispute as both the management and the workers maintain harmonious relation with each other and work in union towards the accomplishment of production objectives. Third one will be the increased moral. The peaceful industrial relation boosts the moral level of a employee as they feel that their interest coincides with that of the employers and their effort will result in the overall productivity of the firm. Minimization of wastage. It is the last but foremost importance of industrial relation. A good hire ensured reduced wastage as the result. Man, machinery, material are fully utilized and are effectively contributing towards the overall productivity of the firm. Thus, an effective industrial relation is required to ensure higher production at less cost and increased profit. It covers the system, rules and procedure to protect the interest of workmen and the employers and to regulate the behavior of the employer, that is the way to he treat his workman. Now, what are the factors that affect on industrial relationship? Industrial relation deals with human behavior and management of personnel in an organizational setup. The various factors that influence the relationship between the administration and the employees in an organization are figured out as individual behavior. First one, every person has a different perception, background, skill, knowledge, experience and achievement which influences an individual behavior. The employees therefore behave differently in different situations, thus impacting the work environment in the organization. The second one will be the organizational structure. The hierarchical structure creates more formal relationship among the employees belonging to different hierarchical level in an organization. Also, the delegation and execution of decision-making power by the superior influences the industrial relations between the managers and the employees. Psychological factors. An employee's attitude and mentality towards the employer and the given task and the employee's psychology towards the worker can be positive or negative, which ultimately impact the employee-employer relationship. Leadership style. Every manager possesses certain leadership traits and different style to function even in a formal organization also. Through his or her formal or informal way of generating team spirit and motivating the employees, he or she impact the organizational industrial relation. Economic and technical environment. To cope up with the change in the economic condition or technology, organization need to reconstruct the task of the employees including their work duration, condition and wages, which leads to a different in their behavior, attitude, adaptive spirit, etc. towards the organization and its people. Legal and political environment. The legal framework and political circumstances influence the organizational and its industrial relations. It contributes to the framing of rule, rights, authority, powers, roles and responsibility of all the parties of the organization. Now what are the parties involved in industrial relation? To understand the concept of industrial relation, we should know that who all are responsible for developing cordial relationship in the organization. The different person holding distinct position in the organization and the external or internal association involved in the process of building strong industrial relation can be bifurcated into the following two categories. The first one will be the primary party and second one is the other party. Under primary party, those persons or associates which are directly associates with or influenced by the function of industrial relations are called primary parties. They are employees, employers and government. The worker who provide their service to the organization and an essential resource and contributes to generate the desired output are called employees. Some of the reasons for which employees find maintaining sound industrial relation to be useful for them are sharing their views, suggestions and ideas with the management to improve the business operation, becoming a part of organizational decision making and ensuring the betterment of the working condition, speaking out their problem and grievance and seeking for the redressal of the same. Next will be the employee. Employers are responsible for providing a favorable work environment for the employees. They have many rights and powers like laying off inefficient employees, taking strategic decisions such as merger, acquisition or shutdown of the organization, and adopting technological changes in the operation. The different way in which manager can benefit from sound industrial relation in the organizations are motivating the employee to give their best and gaining their trust and commitment, improving the overall efficiency and ensuring effective communication among the employees and the management, dealing with problem of trade union along with negotiation of the employment terms and condition with such employee representative. So, under primary party, two are discussed here. One is employee, another one is employers. The rest one is government. Before the 19th century, the government did not use to intervene in the conflict between the employer and the employee. However, later on there was a change in the attitude of the government bodies. They started regulating the industrial relation through labor court and tribunals. The reason for their incorporations are safeguard the interest of both the party and ensuring that both the employer and the employee abide by the legal term and conditions. The next party which involved in the industrial relation are called other parties. Under other parties, the parties, especially the internal or external body or association which impact the industrial relation within an organization, are employers association. So, under other party, first party which will be discussed are employers association. It is an authoritative body formed to protect the interest of the industrial owners. It performs some function to safeguard the rights of the employers, representing the owners in collective bargaining with the employees or government, and also in case of national issues, creating a proper mechanism to resolve industrial dispute, giving an insight into the employees' relation in an organization and provide suggestion accordingly. The second party will be trade union. When the workers unite together to form an association and elect a representative among themselves for the protection of their rights and to raise their demand in front of management, it is named as a trade union. The objective of such association is negotiate collectively with the administration for meeting the individual interest of an employee, upgrading the status of the employees in the organization, demanding better working condition and higher job security for the worker, safeguarding the interest of the employees by demanding a higher level of democratic control over the decision making at the organizational, corporate and national levels. Courts and tribunals. This is the third party. which will be involved in the industrial relation under other parties. The judicially include the courts to resolve the legitimate conflict and the judicial review to administer the justice of the constitution. These courts and tribunals play an essential role in settlement of industrial dispute by eliminating the possibilities of the following, such as judicial law, conflicting judgment, poor evaluation of penalties, confusing terms and conditions. Internal Labour Organization or ILO. On the international ground, an association was formed under the name of International Labour Organization in the year of 1919 to set up international norms and standards for dealing with industrial dispute and issues of the worker. Simultaneously, an International Labour Court ILC was set up to establish the recommendation and convention for minimum international labour standard. The ILC aimed to look into the matter like works compensation, that is minimum wages, employees' work duration and number of holidays, women employment, employees' safety, security and health in the work environment, industrial relation, medical facilities and examination along with maternity protection. Last party which involved in the industrial relations are human relation function. The human resource department or team act as a mediator between the organization and its employees for dealing with the personnel issue and conflicts. It is their responsibility to ensure the maintenance of harmonious industrial relation in the company. There are some other functions of the HR professional in the organization which are addressing the dispute at the initial level, acting as a change agent by brightening or bringing a mental revolution in case of any conflict between the workers and the management, performing the role of an administration expert and a strategic partner by ensuring the implementation of the policy decision taken at the top level. This is all about today's lecture. In next class, I will discuss about effect due to poor industrial relation among employer and employee. Thank you.